the IEC program. I'm Lisa, and I'm IEC, wait a minute, wait for it, social media director. Yay!
Nice.
And I'm here with Ed, and hopefully other people will be viewing and watching. So I just kind of wanted to talk about like how to get the school year started, like what did you do just to begin innovation right away instead of doing the boring old stuff, that sort of thing. So what did you do to get your school year started, right?
My school year started. Yeah, we started on Tuesday with students. So brand new school.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's been fun.
Nice. Yeah, I started the Thursday for you then. So that was like the 12th, I think it was. So
Mhm.
insanely early, but we get out early, so I'm not going to complain. And yeah, as for the wind, it looks way windier up there than it really is. I mean, the valley I live in is kind of windy anyhow.
Mhm.
It's the Salinas Valley, so everything funnels in from the Monterey Bay and then funnels down the Salinas Valley, and I'm at the south end of the Salinas Valley, so it just like really all blows down this way, so it's horrendous at certain times of the year. Right now it's not too bad, actually.
It looks nice.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So what were some of the things that you did to get your school year started with the kids?
Yeah, I started. Like I said, I came into a brand new school.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to, I moved school, so I left my awesome classroom that I had built. So that was kind of scary, but um, able to start recreating it, which is kind of cool because I got a sponsor, kind of sponsorship from this company called Diverse Track, and they put up these sweet metal magnetic whiteboard skins in my class, which they're awesome.
Nice. I saw the
Yeah.
pictures. They looked awesome.
Oh yeah. And it's really cool because I mean I left a school where I had a really small group of students, and now my classes are pretty big, so it's kind of a challenge for me to say, you know what, I think that if you can innovate the classroom, the classroom layout and the design, that you can keep all these kids engaged, and so that's kind of my goal for the year. So the students have definitely been digging it. I set up our Google Classroom, and not all the math classes were using Google Classroom, I guess, at this site, but so that we could use the digital and the walls together, so that we were taking notes. So I set up a collaborative Google Drive folder, and so we've been taking some notes and just sharing them in our Drive folder so that the kids have the notes that they can access on their phone. Um, I've been using Pear Deck a lot. Like, hello, I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that would be because my mic was off. Hi, because my dogs
oh,
are barking in the background. Um, no, so I was saying you do the 360 math.
yeah.
How do you integrate that with like classroom, like Google Classroom?
Well, no, I'm starting it. This is the first time I've done it, but I'm trying. I put a link to a shared folder in the About page of Google Classroom, and I'm just adding like different topic subfolders within it, so that way, as the students are doing work, because a lot of the work they do is on the walls, and it's not in their notes. So in order to keep that and take a snapshot of it, we really literally just take a snapshot of it, and I have my iPad and I pass it around, or the kids are taking snapshots with their own phones for themselves. But we try and agree, like, hey, what are some good examples? This is a really good example by Maria came up with, so I'll snap that one and then I upload that, or have one of the students upload that to that Drive folder. So that way we have a collaborative notes folder ongoing through the year.
Nice. I like that. I'm gonna start taking notes on some of these things. So, how did you create like rules in your classroom? Did you create rules, or did you have the students create rules? How did that work for you?
My rules are pretty relaxed. I mean, it's I have 5 rules, and I think it's just be on time, uh, you know, have respect for yourself, for others, and for the classroom. Um, be prepared to fail, so make mistakes. I think that's a big one. Encouraging that growth mindset, and I kind of just set those rules. I know that it's a lot of time to, it's important to get the buy-in, but especially with math, I kind of just adopt Joe Bowler's math norms. She has some pretty awesome math norms that I kind of just adopt and have those up in my class. and that just really kind of get students used to making mistakes in math class, because I think that's a big mind shift for a lot of kids, especially since I get them when they're in high school, and so they've had this system of math education that we're trying to change.
Yeah. I love that. Be prepared to fail. One of my students, I told them they were going to come up with the norms. I didn't even call them rules this year. I just called them norms. And I said, all right, so you guys figured out. So I have 5 table groups. And so the 5 table groups came up like 2 or 3 different norms that they wanted to focus on this year. And then there I was like, okay, pick your, number 1. And then using Google Draw, well, it was kind of like a tricky way of getting them like logged into one of the classrooms that I needed them to get into.
Nice.
And I said, hey, go ahead and illustrate one of them. And so they did. And one of them that they got was be calm. That was one of their norms this year. So like nobody's supposed to freak out this year. We're all supposed to kind of just be calm and take a chill pill.
Oh, cool. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's some of the things they do. So do you dive right into like the topics that you're teaching, or do you just set up like routines? How do you do that? I'm always curious on how other people do that, because I tend to like dive kind of in just because that's kind of how I am. Like, okay, I don't want to waste any time. I just kind of want to dive into everything and then kind of go slow, but do the rules all at the same time, and but dive into content too. Do you do that, or how do you do that?
Well, it was a little different this year because it's a brand new school and I have a new department, and I don't know if it makes sense, but I don't want to ruffle too many feathers, and there's math, Yeah.
Yeah.
So can't be the new guy. Plus, the new guy just did come in with getting sponsorship in his classroom, so that's kind of getting brand new teachers walking in.
That's kind of taking it to a new level. I love that. I dig that. I love it.
So teachers are coming in like, why does this new guy have a whiteboard walls? And they're like, oh, I think it's because the new guy knew somebody, and but yeah, I tried to I don't know if you're familiar with Joe Bowler's stuff. She has this week of inspirational math activities, and I mean they're really awesome. And I kind of use one of her activities. I'm going to use one a week it's all about encouraging and reinforcing the group norms. So you talk about what when does group work well, and when does it not work well, and what happens to make it work well and not work well, and then that's how we come up with our norms. And then she has these really awesome, just very flexible, creative activities revolving around number sense or things like that. So the kids dig it. It's not easy, but it's challenging, and it gets them talking and working together. So it's a good primer to start the year. And then I dive into our content and with routines, establishing routines the second day.
Okay. So do you have a lot of like, I don't know where you're at now or where you were at before. I mean, I kind of knew where you were at before. I just don't know like the demographics of your school. Do you get a lot of parent participation? How do you get the parents connected into all of that?
Yeah, from what I've heard, just from learning about the community. I mean, I'm in a ultra impoverished community now, and I've heard it's zero parent participation and high English language learners, Spanish speaking population. But I take that as a challenge because I speak Spanish too, so I'm encouraged to reach out more, try and make some more phone calls. But yeah,
that's awesome. No, I'm in the same kind of community where my school is like 85% or more free and reduced lunch. We have a high ELL population. It's a migrant, they call it a migrant community. It's not so migrant anymore, but I'm surrounded by fields too. So yeah. Oh, look at that. Somebody's calling me. Can't take that phone call right now. So, yeah, I do find it, and maybe it's a 5th grade level that like it is kind of hard, but the more I try and I keep kind of hammering, especially at conferences, and they do kind of come around. So I've been using like Class Dojo, and I don't know if Class Dojo would work for your level, but for me, like Class Dojo and some of the parents are starting to get on board, and now I'm bribing the kids. I'm like, hey, if your parents sign up for Class Dojo, you get a prize out of prize box, which there's a bunch of, cute backpacks in there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, all the things that we get, you know,
Yep.
the free swag. So like
Exhibit
everybody
hall.
gives me all of their stuff at Fall Q and National Q, and I just take it and put it in a prize box. So, you know, I'm getting the word out that way too.
Dude, that's great. I'm totally exhibit hall swag box.
I
That's
do
awesome.
it. National Q. I'm up and down, and I'm just putting like at one year I came home with like 7 bags just full of stuff to put in.
Nice.
Yeah, I have no shame. I'm a Nowakowski, and that's what we do. My dad growing up was like, Lisa, we'd go to exhibit halls for whatever and go get that. I'm like, Dad, it's just a pen. We don't need another pen in life. He goes, yeah, whatever. It's free. Go get it. So now I have this mindset. I can't stop getting free stuff. And it's all my
Nice.
dad's fault.
Oh, I love it.
So I did want to ask you too. So since you're here, so with this QIEC, which you know we're huge fans of,
Yeah.
because I
Oh,
don't know,
yeah.
for me it kind of jump started everything, right?
Most definitely. Same here.
And but you know, I mean, they're supposed to do like after I set this up, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have done a tweet chat because then you can't hear my dogs barking in the background because they only wait until I'm online to bark incessantly. I don't know. What do you think on that? Like, would like a tweet chat be better than like a hangout? I'm only going to do it like once a month or something like that.
Well, I
Your
mean, I know
thoughts?
that
Just
I think the Twitter chat could be good because we haven't had one for IEC, have we?
no, no.
Oh,
That's kind of my job to set that stuff up. So I was like, oh, I was going to go this route, and now I'm like, oh, maybe I should have gone that route. And yeah, but I thought about that after I had already set this up, and I couldn't change it.
yeah. No,
I
that's.
didn't
I
want
mean,
to change it. That would be mean.
because I know. I think like, isn't it the LDI? They just started doing one. Um,
Good, yeah.
the
Does Q
QLDI, and
Rockstar does Q Rockstar still do it? They were doing it like what the first or the last
it's like what,
Sunday of the month, right after or
like
right before the.
once every other month or something, or wasn't it, or once a month? Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
I
one in
don't
a
know.
while, but
Yeah, it doesn't
yeah,
mean anything. It just
yeah.
means we haven't seen it.
I think that could be a
All
good
right.
regular part of of the IEC too, just to get them
Yeah,
into Twitter faster. Because even during the when I was in the program, I don't think I was getting into Twitter as much, and then it was just towards the end, and I probably didn't fully dive in after I was out of the program. But that would be really
yeah,
cool to have that as you know even an
part of it.
assignment or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have, you know, they do go through. We do have a new hashtag, so it's QIEC is the new hashtag.
Okay.
Um, oh, we have 5 viewers. Hi, 5 viewers. Hey,
Hey.
um, that's exciting. Um, so maybe we'll just switch this forum to more of a Twitter chat. I'd love to hear what other people think about that and what kind of forum works for them. You know, would this forum work really well, or would a Twitter chat kind of work a little bit better? Because you can kind of put it down, you know, go make your coffee for the next morning and then come back and kind of read what's going on. So
Mhm.
I would like to hear from the other people what they think too. So I like that idea. So again, it is the hashtag QCUE. IEC is the hashtag. So it's not very active right now. So whenever you find something really cool, Ed, just kind of throw
Oh
it on
yeah,
up there. That'd be really
yeah,
cool. I
for sure.
appreciate that. Thank you. So what went well like your first week of school last week? It's like the most awesome thing that happened.
Um,
Besides getting total sponsorship and getting an awesome classroom with white walls.
yeah, that was pretty awesome. I think what's nice is that I mean, just meeting the students again. I like, I like going back to work. It's tiring. That first week is a beast, but it was nice getting to know the kids and letting them get to know you. We're just in that feeling each other out phase, and I was using I'm trying to build that culture of math of being able to make mistakes, but that's way easier said than done. So I use a lot of Pear Deck, and I think I'm going to be using a lot of Pear Deck every day because of I love how you can anonymously give the answers and it shows up. So I'm using a lot of Pear Deck and a lot of Google Activity Builder so I can see student responses and just check for understanding way faster than I could. And I started using that, and like a lot of kids were like, "Wow, this is pretty cool." It's like, "You guys ever used use this?" And I was able to fix mistakes really quickly. And I said, "Hey, isn't this kind of cool that like what do you like about it?" And they're like, "Well, we like that it's anonymous. Like I said, so it's kind of taken away that fear and of making a mistake. I was like, yeah, I go, well, I want to do that eventually anyways, I want you to be able to not have that fear saying your responses out loud. But until we get there, we'll use a lot of this and, just kind of showing them where I want us to be in terms of the discourse and the conversations in class. So, and I did have, what made it was one kid as they were leaving, she was like, I just want to tell you, this was really fun today. I had a fun time in class. And I'm like, school. And it was Friday, so I was exhausted.
Awesome.
It was like burnt. You're just like running on
God,
empty.
like the first week of school, I went home and I was like, okay, where's the couch? I need to take a nap for just a little bit.
Yeah. So that put wind
Wait,
back in
I
the
texted
sails.
my dad and I said, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was like, so that put wind back in my sails. That was like Friday, right before lunch, and I was like, right on. Thank you very much for that. I needed that. So that was the highlight of my week. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I had a student come to me and he's like, hey, math is fun this year. And I didn't really do anything very fun. I don't think I did anything very fun. But he was
Nice.
like, I get it. This is fun this year. I'm like, all right.
All right.
And the other cool thing that I did that I think is a big win, a friend of mine read it on a blog. So it totally wasn't my idea. I would totally give props to the blogger. I don't know who it was, unfortunately. But her thing, you come in, especially like elementary level, you come in the morning and you always give the kids busy work. So you're like, here, sit down and do this paper.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just always random, yeah, it's a spy review of some sort. But the kids are always talking. They're not really taking it serious. I don't really care. I mean, let's be honest. Any teacher who gives that really doesn't care what's on the paper. So if you care, you're a way better human being than I am. And so she read this thing online where you just, like I said, I have 5 table groups. You throw something on the table. So whether it's Uno or Legos or whatever it is, you put something on each of the different tables. So I did that last week. It was the most beautiful thing. So one table had checkers. One table I have these snap circuits. So they have snap circuits and connect for Uno, and then just the shapes, like the geometric shapes to build designs with, whatever. So they come in, they sit down, and there's just this low murmur of talking. And they're building or they're playing or they're doing whatever they need to, whatever they're doing. But it's a low-key thing. Like, they're doing it like they want fun.
Yep.
And then, I don't have to check anything. I don't have to run off any papers. I don't have to yell at them that, why didn't you do your morning work? Because I don't really care, but I have to put up the front that I care.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then the other thing I did was I rearranged my, quote, homework. So my partner teacher and I kind of worked on this where we have a grid, a 16-box grid. And I'll happily share this with anybody. Well, we have 2 of them. One is a Pokemon Go because I got into Pokemon Go this summer.
Nice.
And the other one is just a regular, 16-point. Pick 4 boxes that you can do for the first trimester. So literally they have 4 things that they need to do. I mean, we're looking at, having it good quality. So one of them is, make a recipe and write out the recipe. So they can't just, copy it. And clearly they don't copy it right anyhow, so it doesn't matter. Because I read one of them and she's like, 350. I'm like, what? She goes, degrees. I'm like, and for how long? And she didn't quite have everything right on it. And so we got to talk about that. And, one of them was make a crossword. Make a crossword puzzle for somebody, or, make a word search for somebody. Okay, great. So they made a word search and just cool stuff like that. Like, they just kind of want to do it because it's not being forced and it's fun stuff. So those are the 2 super successful things that I've done so far this school year.
Nice.
We'll see how the homework continues on, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it will.
I know. One thing you mentioned homework, and one thing I'm going to try and experiment with is, I don't want to give them a bunch of homework. And but
no, all the research is there that it just doesn't promote very much.
So the only thing is, and I want to say that I have to, but if you're going into a new school, I think I kind of have to. But so I'm saying, well, I want to assign. I told them my goal is to assign like 4 to 6 problems a day, and that's easy. And they're like, oh, that's great. And I said, but I want you guys to be ready to like present one of those problems to your classmates. So like the homework would be like ready, set, present, to give them public speaking skills and practice presenting to each other, which I want in little groups. So they have their little pods. of 4. Right now I have 6 because I don't have my new desks, but eventually I'd like them to be using the walls and have one person one day is like, hey, we're going to coach you and help you get better at presenting to us. So that's the
That's
goal.
awesome.
And I think that's a much better use of homework is like, if they're ready to perform, like you're just doing this and I'm going to hold back, but know these problems pretty well that we practice and then come in and we're just going to help each other get better. And it goes in line with the making mistakes. And it's like, we're going to make mistakes, but like you developing these skills, these communication and public speaking skills is going to be so much better for you, even above the math, so it's like that's my main goal
Yeah.
there for them as a teacher. And I tell them that. So I think they're grasping towards it. They're little, but they're
If they
little,
haven't had those public speakings, the opportunity to do public
right.
speaking, that's really scary for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and a part of our homework is at the end, you have to actually present whatever it is that you've done. So if you've done the, recipe, you're going to have to present that to the class. And I do
Nice.
Genius Hour every Friday, and every Friday they present whatever it is they've done. And then we do a scorecard. So there's 3 scorecards in the audience. They're scoring on like eye contact and what is it? Eye contact, volume, and one other thing, clarity. So like how clear, did they
Nice.
convey their message? And then the presenter then scores the audience on listening. Otherwise they screw around because they're 5th grade and it's Friday afternoon.
Right.
But that works really well. Last year I had a lot of great success with it. So, students would stand up and they would like look at the ground and they would, fiddle with their fingers or whatever.
Mhm.
And the feedback was, what, you got a 6 out of 10. Okay, well, what can they do to be better? Just like,
Mhm.
and it was like they got the feedback from their peers. Most of them took it really well. And then the following week, they implemented the feedback that they got from their peers, which was so awesome to see.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'm a huge advocate of that whole public speaking thing and making the presentations a part of it.
Yeah, and I think, I think that's the best use of homework. And it just kind of came to me. I was like, what? And then I can take roll while they're doing that. While they've got a little low hum and they're good to practice listening and speaking and encouraging, and that's what it's about. It's like, we're not trying to stress each other out. We're just trying to get better at this. And I was like, if I give you a little bit of opportunities every day, by the end, you guys are going to be like bosses, so.
So would one person present in the group every day, or does everybody present in the group every day?
I think because it's probably just going to be while I take roll type of stuff, like 1 or 2 people. And then those people would be done for the week, and
Okay.
and that way it's like you check it off, like, hey, you're a team, and then but you're getting better at it. So I see like, choose one, but you get help too. You're going to get help. It's not like you have to have all the answers. You can, even if it's just standing up and writing down what one of the other students is telling you, even that's a start.
Yeah.
That's a start.
And that's great for those kids who don't maybe understand a certain concept or are kind of weak in that concept. They're hearing it yet again from their peer. Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. I was just like, I was like, this is getting. I'm hoping. So I'll let you know how it goes. And I told them, I gave them a break last week because it was chaos. But I said we're going to start that Monday. So we'll see how it goes Monday. And it would be really nice because I've already got them trained to get in, log into to Pear Deck and get ready. And then I have them do a review summary on Pear Deck right away too. So that's a good routine that I've got. They log in and do a summarize what we just did yesterday. And so that's kind of even a review if they present to each other, getting ready for that review. So I can test everything,
So Pear Deck costs, doesn't it?
No, Pear Deck is free, but you don't get all the bells and whistles, like all the shapes, the draggable shapes, but you can do a whole lot with the free version of Pear Deck. I mean,
okay. Is that just for iPads, or can you use that with like a Chromebook too?
I use it on Chromebooks. So I use it on Chromebooks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I thought it was a paid thing, so I was gonna check into Go Formative this year.
Go Formative is awesome.
Haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was going to check into this year and just kind of like focus in instead of being all like, oh, we can try this and try this. I was going to like focus in on just one specific tool because I'm really bad at like, oh, this is neat. Oh, this is neat. And then I have 10 different tools going on, which is such a bad idea. So if you're listening, don't do that. It's a really bad idea.
Yeah. I hear you. No, I did Go Formative too. I can't remember why, but I was testing both of them out. And why was I think it was easier for me because here's my thing. I'm lazy, Just
Oh, me too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've met me.
okay, yeah. So I mean, I can make a real fancy, Pear Deck or Go Formative, but I want an easy hack. And like I've got my Pear Deck where I look at it and I basically have like three different types of questions, like a true false, a multiple choice, and a free response and a drawable response. And that's the same thing I'm going to use every day. And I might not even change the questions just because I don't want to work that hard. And I just ask the question. But I mean, seriously, it takes time. And I'm just going to ask the question or write the question down on the whiteboard. And then they answer it digitally. They know the question they're asking. It just doesn't come up on their screen. But it's like zero prep work. And I can reuse. Basically, I'm reusing the same Pear Deck slide like over and over. And I just have a couple different type of questions. And I just toggle to that one, ask the question, and then they can get it. So it's an easy hack for me. So I think that's why I figured I went with Pear Deck, because with Go Formative, it seemed like I had and Pear Deck, you can just ask a question on the fly, like pull up another question while it's open.
Kind of like Socrative, you can ask a question on the fly.
Yes, similar to that.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna check into that then. All right, so I'll check into both of those. Awesome. All right, so I think we're coming up on the half-hour mark, and I wanted to keep it short and simple and sweet because, yeah, that lazy thing. I think I'm going to switch it. So for those of you who are watching, we're going to switch it, I think, to a Twitter chat. So get that hashtag QIEC, CUEIEC kind of going again. Yeah, so I think, I'm not sure when we'll have it. I'll keep you posted and informed. So thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate you joining me.
No problem. It's always a pleasure.
All right. I'll talk to you later then.
Okay, we'll see you. Have a great week.
Bye. You too. Bye-bye.